At times I get to be asked questions like, we, the people of this current generation, have a weaker mentality than the people who have lived before. And most of the times we just hear people going, yes, they're weak. We were strong. We will not allow smaller things to get to us. Now that's the older generation that will be talking to me, telling me that how my generation is not really strong when it comes to dealing with life. And they'll be telling us that we just have a weaker mentality. But I have a different view of that. I just feel like it's not because they are weak. It's not because we are weak, our generation. It's just that it just is the enemy we are fighting right now. It's now different from the enemy we fought before. What am I talking about? Let me give you an idea. I'm going to tell you about a small story about me growing up. Some people who have been with me might even agree to some of the things that I'm going to talk about. I've lived in a situation where I've always tried to fit in. 19% of the times, always trying to fit in. Came from a different country, coming to a place where I did not even speak the language, did not even heard the tone for whatever I was speaking about. So there's not any other challenge than trying to fit into a place where you know you're not even one of those people, one of the people there. So you get to be a place where you're surrounded by people that you don't even deserve to be there, but you are there because of circumstances. Life pushes us to be in certain places we don't want to be at. And I remember that I had to deal with some problems, especially now because growing up, somehow I found myself into leadership of some of the schools I was in. So you become public enemy number one. How could you come from where you're coming from to come and run our life? Stuff like that. So in terms of dealing with hate, most of the people who were very close to me might not even known, but I had to develop what we call thick skins to not allow some people's hate to get me down. Always be willing to take whatever people throw at me and just keep going forward, keep moving forward. And the funny part, I don't think I've ever come at once, even at my own home, to tell maybe my parents that I cannot do this. This is too much. The hate that I'm getting is too much. I don't want to live no more or what. But I just had to go through all that I was going through and continued looking forward. But that's how I was. So in terms of talking about hate, it's not like I'm coming telling you all these things that I talk about just from a place of nowhere, just because I've got the camera and I've got this thing and I can just come up and say things. I'm speaking from an experience of how I've seen how much somebody's words can destroy a person, mentality especially, how much somebody's words can destroy. So of course I was dealing maybe with this a few, maybe 10, maybe hundreds of people who did not like me. I get it, senior school, there were a lot of people, so maybe hundreds of people did not like me. That's a reasonable number to the number of people we are now getting exposed to each and every day. Now you may wonder, what am I talking about? I'm talking about the power that we now hold. Only with a click of a button we can reach over multitudes of millions of people. I was actually looking at the TikTok channel and I was noticing that so there are about 1.5 people who have either liked, who have seen this face and liked whatever I've said, or even said something, some comments down there. And you find that most of the times you are dealing with somebody who's very far away from where you are, but that person, because he has seen your face, can also have something that he can say into your life which can have an impact to you either positively or negatively, even though you're not even seeing the person, even you don't even know the person. You find that you meet people like that. So if I'm telling you that I was trolled by maybe say 100 people in my lifetime, with people that I've dealt with maybe in schools, how many people do you think come after me on social media? How many people are coming after you on social media? Remember, at certain point we can actually confirm that most of us, we've met either millions, we've talked to millions of people in our different social media platforms or something like that. We are working, so because we are in a hunt for a like button, a caring emoji or what, we end up opening up so much of the baggage we are carrying within, putting it out there, hoping that maybe if you find somebody maybe putting that those said little eyes emojis, you might feel better or something like that. So what I'm talking about is this: the enemy we deal with right now is different. How is it different? Technology has made it possible that a person in Mexico can tell somebody in Africa some positive words or terrible words, and you have to receive it, you have to consume it. And we have gotten ourselves learning from people who are living in different walks of life. Like, for example, I can tell you that I'm inspired by Bill Gates. Bill Gates is in America. I've never met him. I've seen his work. I'm using his computer like Microsoft and stuff like that. You find that we are inspired by people with different walks of life, and some of our role models are going through so many things. I remember there was a certain point where Selena Gomez came out and said that she was going off social media for her mental health as she tries to work on herself. You look at people like those, they're meeting, they've met, billions of people have seen their face, and trust me, when people were talking about it, every level has its own level. They were not just making the up, they were talking about the reality of life, that every stage you reach in wherever you are, in any walk of life, you meet something that is going to challenge you and going to question you. So, are you mentally strong enough to deal with the millions you're meeting every day? The millions you're attracting with a click of a button, like I'm telling you. Are you strong enough? And to make matters worse, I don't think social media really helped. I don't think lockdown really helped so many things, because there was a certain point of time where social media became the only way of living for 2 years, for others even more than that. So there are more people right now who had to spend at least 3 years of their life relying on their phone, on their technological phone, to reach out to the world, to talk, to feel alive, to feel that sense of freedom we always wish to have as people, as we were not allowed to move around because there was an enemy which was attacking us and we could not see it in the pandemic. So you find that we are morely all trapped into this bubble or into this box, social media box, that after the lockdown pass, 90% of the people are still living in the same box. Do you know how, I cannot say crazy, but how funny it is that I can still go out right now in the country that I am, where it's almost now a year or two since the lockdown, since the pandemic has passed, and you still find people moving around wearing masks in their faces. So it was just a scar for 2 years, but it has left a mark that people are still trying to heal from. And in that moment where we had that scar, social media became our getaway place. It became our safe place where we could hide, where we could find ourselves, where we could feel appreciated. And because of that, not everyone you're going to meet on social media is going to be smiley, smiley like I'm doing right now. You find that people will say whatever they want to say. And we try to seek advice from our parents. I don't know, some of you, if you still get to do men-to-men talk with your parents. I found myself with the lucky of, I consider me being one of the blessed one, where I get to sit down with my father. We talk about a lot of things, and sometimes one of the advice he tells me is, if it's bothering you, just stop it. Don't just go there, just disappear. If social media is affecting you, just disappear. Then I don't blame him. He has never lived in the world where this thing was dominating. But now he has to try to adjust to something that it seems like now most of us, it's been our lifetime learning how to use it. Trust me, I cannot even tell my sister anything she doesn't know about a platform called TikTok. And now And my parents, who never lived in the social media era, has to become the person who tried to advise my sister over the impact of this thing. So you see, they are running, and we are trying to help us. They are trying to motivate us to fight a war which they were never prepared to deal with at their younger generation. So it's hard for them to give us an impact, or maybe give us something that we can hold on to fight from this era that we're stuck in. They created the metaverse. People never really understood what was the purpose of the metaverse. In fact, if you could go around and ask the owner of Facebook why metaverse, he'll tell you that he created because of lockdown. He wanted people to experience the feeling of living outside of the being while you are still in the being, if you get what I mean. So in other words, I'm seated here, give us something that I can go and discuss with people that I cannot even see while I'm still seated in my house. So you find that there is that powerful impact. That's how powerful social media is. That's how powerful internet has become to our life. So is our psyche, is our mentality really ready to fight the enemy we cannot control? Because if you look, 90% of all of us, we are still trying to fit into this social media era. How do I know we're still trying to fit in? Look at how many posts are put on a daily basis, people seeking people to appreciate them on the social media. So it is a crazy world. So that's what I'm saying. As much as we might say that people are, why is that it looks like we are weaker in this generation? It's just that because the enemy we are fighting is much stronger, is a different enemy, and the people who have always prepared us, given us the certain tools we need in life to be ready for this. They're all trying to get used to it, to actually understand, so that they can advise us wisely. But guess what? We are the more impacted, the more, especially the youth, that we are already ahead, that whatever they're going to try to advise us, we already know it, or maybe we just have already understood about it. So it is really, really, really hard, and it's painful. So what I'm talking about is this. I can just come here and tell you that it's okay. Don't just listen to anybody on whatever they say to you. And yes, we are men enough. Most men will be like, yeah, I'm never going to listen. I'm strong enough. I'm a man now. My father told me that you are a man, but it leaves a scar. And that small scar builds up into something else. The more this keeps happening, at a certain point, you will crack. That's why I come here and tell you of this. You know, somebody even asked me, why do I take some time that I can speak and then disappear? I need to give myself time to prepare, so that whatever that I tell you can actually give an impact, because I'm also trying to use it into my life so that we can survive. It's really, really difficult to survive. One man that I was listening to, he told me that the things that are put on the exterior of us are tools for us to survive. God put those tools for us to survive. He was talking about the nose to breathe, the eyes to see, the mouth to eat. And he said that if you were going to be alive but you didn't have eyes to move, all of us, we didn't have eyes to move, do you think we will still be alive? So it is a tool which God gave us to survive. He gave us also the nose to breathe in air, to keep living, so that we keeping this thing up. But there's something that is up here. Now, because we are human beings, and being a being means that it's always in our nature that we show ourselves. It's always in our nature that people see us. And social media has given us that platform to show ourselves. And we are willing to go to crazy extents to people, to find value in people, because we are being being, just saying being, you can understand in what saying it, human being. We want to be seen, we want to become what we can be. So we are out there trying to reach in, and these tools are here to help us do so. But guess what? We are trying to reach into other human beings who also wants to show up. So if you are blowing up and you are popular, the only way I can be popular using you is to attack you. And guess what? You cannot see me. I'm hiding behind the keyboard. But what I'm saying is leaving a mark in your life. So it's a difficult world, and we have to really be strong to survive this world, because it is always going to demand so much of us people. Whether we like it or not, it will demand most of us to go to another level. So I need you to find a way to control yourself from this thing that we call social media. Learn to say no at the right times and learn to say yes, so that you give yourself the fighting chance to fight, because it can be crazy. Anyway, I hope you have learned some things, people. I'm gonna come in to try to give you some tools and how you can prepare yourself to fight the new enemy that even the older generation never expected they will face, so that you can still see another tomorrow. Anyway, I hope you learned something. It's an interesting topic, as you can see, because there is so much within it. When I start talking about it, I'll never end. There is so much that I can still impact and explain to you about this, because it still has an impact on whatever that we do in our life. I hope you learned something. Let me know in the comment section how much social media has really impacted your life, and how much has that affected your mental health. You might never know. Maybe I'll make a video dedicated to you and giving you some tools you might have to activate that survival instinct that we all know that we have inside us. Thank you very much for watching. If you're watching this on YouTube, click the like button. TikTok, follow, Facebook, Twitter. You see all those social medias where I can always leave my mark and help people. Do so, people, so that we can help you. I'm out this time.